Here's the thing. I know there's a chance you're going to switch off already because you say, here's Mark again, and he's just going to talk about estate planning, succession planning, and how you need to get this sorted. Well, you're absolutely right. And you know what? 95% of people don't have an up-to-date, adequate or appropriate estate, legacy or succession plan. And that's the fact. And chances are you don't have one either. Now, the issue is that because you, like a lot of other people I deal with, are successful, wealthy, have successful businesses, deal with expensive lawyers, deal with expensive accountants, and you kind of think you've got all this sorted. And I've referred to this before as a kind of a pompous presumption, and I'll say it to you at risk of offence, but a pompous presumption basically means that you kind of just figure that it's all taken care of because you're successful and you pay all these advisors so much money. I'm going to tell you, I've been doing this for over 30 years, and I'm yet to find anyone who's got everything sorted perfectly. When I go through it, there's always some holes, there's always some gaps, there's always some things that you'd want for your family that you haven't taken care of. So here's the thing. A good friend of mine recently had a stroke. He wasn't planning for it. He wasn't expecting it. And you all know the story about Brian. You know, Brian, my friend, he wasn't expecting that his plane was going to fly into the side of a hill either. So, but there's two sides to this story. Brian, as you know, the result wasn't good. He wouldn't have been proud of the result that ended up happening for his family, for his 4 children and so on. And my other friend who had the stroke recently, while his health's still on the mend and he's getting better every day, you know, fortunately that's a good story from a planning point of view because everything was in place that needed to be in place in regard to his estate planning, succession planning, and all those sorts of things. All the T's were crossed and the I's were dotted, and he should be really proud of what he's done for his family to make sure that everything went smoothly and gave him the opportunity to get better. See, the issue is that you kind of live in denial in a lot of cases. Most people do, and that is that everything's going to be taken care of. We have this deferral thing. We think we're invincible and it's always going to happen to the other guy. But you know what? I've been around long enough now to know that I'm kind of sick of talking to people about this stuff and having them put me off and say, well, you know, how about we talk about this next year? How about we call back in 3 months or something like that? Because unless you know more than I do, I don't know when you're going to be checking out. And if you do, let me know. But until that point of time, wouldn't you want to know that everything's sorted? Wouldn't you want the pride? Wouldn't you know the pride of knowing that if something happened to you, that your family's going to be okay? There's going to be a list that they can follow that'll get them through, and they'll be okay. What would you want them talking about if they were sitting around the table with your accountant, your solicitor, and your other trusted advisors? Have you got enough documentation there? Have you made it simple enough? Have you created certainty, confidence, and security for those that you love and those that you care for? And if you don't love and care for your family, well, I guess you shouldn't be watching this video, but I'm assuming you do, and I know you do. So we've created a 10-step process to ensure that you can check that all these things are taken care of. And that way, there's 10 things that you can look at that we can go through, and you'll cover off on all the things like ensuring that all the things that you'd want for those that you love and you care for and for yourself are all taken care of. And I know you'd want that. I'm Mark Westcott, and I help people create extraordinary legacies. And I'd like to help you create yours. Thanks for your time today.